Academy. I am so pleased to be with you tonight and to have the chance to introduce our guest speaker, Ashley Ross. Ashley is my partner with Coaching Chicks and resident expert on emotional intelligence and small business development. She has been one of the main proponents of this program for several years and truly stands out in the field as far as I'm concerned. She has a great understanding on this subject and a great appreciation of what it takes to truly put your business development on the right path to success, and anyone that has worked with her in any of our programs certainly can attest to that. Besides that, Ashley holds an MBA, is a Master of Technology, Social Networking, and Business Development Services. Finally, she is also a fascinating person to me and to many, and we're all in for a treat tonight. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ashley Ross.
Oh my, thank you so much, Cindy. I appreciate that wonderful welcome. And let's just get right into today's lesson. We're going to talk about how to close more sales with using emotional intelligence. So a little bit about what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about what is emotional intelligence, how it improves our sales relationships with our clients, a little bit about how emotional intelligence improves and interacts with the sales process, and about nurturing leads. So a growing body of psychological research is pointing to plenty of reasons why you should want to get emotional. Salespeople with high emotional intelligence get better results and have more loyal customers. Being able to recognize their emotions can help you adjust your own emotional response and build better relationships. Emotional intelligence is the ability to interpret and read your client's emotions, and then you use that emotional information to adapt within a selling situation. It can help you make your clients feel more valued, improve your lead conversion rates, it builds stronger personal connections, and it can even make you look more intelligent in your client's eyes, according to some research conducted by Chris Blocker, who is an assistant professor of marketing at Baylor University. So why should you develop your EQ? Accurately reading a client's emotions will increase your ability to use adaptive and customer-oriented selling. By developing your emotional intelligence, you'll be able to read your client's emotions more accurately. Use that information to adapt to the situation and help your clients solve their house buying and selling dilemmas in ways that make them feel valued. So this is all about using tools. And emotional intelligence, your EQ, is all about the tools we have in our tool chest as real estate professionals. And just like that famous Kenny Rogers song, emotional intelligence also helps real estate professionals know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You will make more effective use of your time by knowing when to invest more time with the client, give more time to other clients, and even when to let a potential client go elsewhere. Emotionally intelligent salespeople should be able to ascertain quickly and effectively whether they can establish a strong connection with clients, or if clients are emotionally ready to advance through the sales process. All these benefits should lead to more successful selling. Boosting your emotional intelligence doesn't mean you have to constantly pester your clients with questions like, how does this make you feel? It happens at a much more subconscious level. Real estate practitioners often use empathy and emotional appeals to inspire clients. So clients really want you to be emotionally engaged when it comes to understanding the emotions involved in the home buying or the selling situation. They want agents. They want real estate professionals to use their emotional intelligence to help them process the stressful situations that arise from buying a home. So I'm going to refer to Colleen Stanley, and she's a sales trainer who came up with emotional intelligence for sales success. And there are a few ways that emotional intelligence can be blended into improving your sales relationships with customers, according to Stanley. So empathy, demonstrating empathy, which is seeing the world from another person's perspective. It's the ability to step into your client's shoes, allowing you to get a better read on what their emotional response might be. And in order to do that, you may need to learn more about them. Colleen Stanley recommends using a questionnaire such as the McKay 66, written by Harvey McKay. It has questions that cover personal hobbies, names of the kids to their favorite places to eat. And you may not want to ask 66 questions, but it's more of a reference to learn more about your clients' lives as well as their needs, so you can be more empathetic to their situation. And then we have the sales elephant in the room. So it's the obvious truth that is being ignored or unaddressed. The emotionally intelligent salesperson will pick up on that using the emotional intelligence skill of self-awareness. For example, maybe you notice some hesitancy from your clients when you're showing homes in a particular neighborhood, but they're not providing any feedback. So the real estate professional would calmly state, "It sounds like you may be hesitant about this neighborhood. Let's talk about it." Some clients are hesitant to raise concerns among salespeople, believing that you will jump into a sales pitch mode. But by you raising the issue for your clients will feel like you are really watching out for their best interest. So then we have exercise impulse control. If your customer does share a problem or a concern, avoid that natural inclination we all have to quickly give them a fix, or you respond too quickly with a solution. Take the time to reflect and review the actions with your clients. Let them feel heard first. You might say, "I can only imagine how frustrating this might be for you." And then ask questions and patiently listen to answers. And listen is the operative word. We're going to talk about that in a moment. If you're in too big of a rush to solve their prospects' problems, you may make your client feel like you're disregarding their concerns. Instead, identify the problem together, discuss the implications, and then commit to fixing that problem. So when a prospect finally opens up and you get really excited, control the excitement, control the impulse. So then you don't miss any of the right criteria for finding a solution for that customer or that client. So when you hear an objection, you have to look for ways to further the conversation and ask questions. You need to try to fully understand where your client's thoughts and perceptions are coming from, and then validate those concerns so they feel heard, and then work toward a solution. So as a general rule, salespeople hear an objection and you go into defense mode and you try to overcome. You want to run over all those objections and say, "Here, this is your solution." But instead of doing that, agree with your client. The safer they feel, the more they will speak to you, the more they will share with you. And because when people feel heard, they respond by lowering their defense and they engage in conversation. So you need to ask 3 W's. Ask, why is this a problem? What is the impact? And what is the future impact? What is the potential impact of this as you go further? So learn the story and discover what's important to them. So what kind of realtor are you? One of the biggest reasons for failure in sales is because salespeople rarely understand how emotional intelligence skills positively impact their success in business. The ability to empathize with prospects, remain cool when hot buttons are triggered, and to be assertive. Ask for what you need in order to create a win-win business relationship. Ask for the sale. Ask them to use you for selling their house. When it comes to sales, emotional intelligence skills are every bit as important as the hard sales skills or understanding the technical side. So the sales process. Is EQ just as important as most of the technical, operational, hands-on skills that are required to do a particular job well? The truth is that emotional intelligence training can benefit anyone in any profession that requires interaction with others. Consider how many people in various relationships you have encountered who were not good listeners. Did you ever have a teacher, a professor, or other instructor who did not listen well? How much did you learn from him? Wouldn't you have benefited more if that person had listened well? How about your doctor? Whether you see him or her for a routine checkup, a head cold, or something more serious, how important is it for you to leave that office believing that he or she really listened to you and understood everything you were telling them, and more important, understood how you felt about what you were telling them? Wouldn't the same hold true for your lawyer, your accountant, and your auto mechanic? When you go to a restaurant or even a fast food place, do you care whether or not your server or the person behind the counter listens to your order? Do you want to buy a car or a pair of shoes from a salesperson who isn't listening to what you're saying and why and how you're saying it? In fact, research has shown time and time again that the salesperson who is trained in emotional intelligence has over 50% more repeat customers than the salesperson with no EQ training. So there are 4 basic stages to the buying process. First, you have your interest stage, where contacts and leads should be warmed up with helpful information about what you provide as a service. The kinds of experience you bring to the table, the people and areas you work with, and where to find more information that they may find useful. And so this is your prime opportunity to collect more information with each communication to ensure that future messages meet their needs. Next, you have the evaluation stage. Prospects are ready to evaluate their options. Then we need to put them into a nurturing program focused on providing education based on their profile, based on the information we have gathered on them and any other information about what they're looking for. Next, prospects are going to spend more time on your website. They're going to take tours with you. They are going to start looking at their options. Basically, consuming the information you provide them. So then you move them into an accelerator program to help move them ahead, move them to that closing stage of either buying or selling. And when I say closing, how do we get to the part where you're making money? Whatever that motion is moving forward. So this is where you give the prospect all the information he or she might need to make a decision, and to include why your business, why you are the right choice for him or her to work with. And we need to address the questions your prospect may have. You want your client to be satisfied with his or her purchase, with his or her working with you, whether it's selling or buying the house. So make sure you clarify their concerns or any confusion that they have expressed or that you see on their face. You need to help your client reach a satisfying decision. Make it an easy transaction, an enjoyable process from beginning to end. Using a friendly environment, make them feel valued without any pressure. And make sure that they know that they are not taking up your valuable time, that they are your primary concern. And finally, if a customer hasn't interacted with you in a while, place them in a re-engagement program that helps determine whether they should remain in your database. As you communicate with leads that are not in the active sales cycle or active buying process or selling process, determine how you will reintroduce them to your nurture program. How will you bring them back into the fold when they are ready to move ahead? So once you have a lead, is it natural for every buyer to move smoothly through the process? How much hand-holding do you do before you actually reach the conclusion? Leads can be warm, willing, and eager to buy or sell, but at least to work with you. They move ahead and they meet with you, they discuss their concerns, and then all of a sudden some get skittish and they start backpedaling. Why? It's what I call pre-buyer remorse or pre-sales remorse, or the DIY buyer, the do-it-yourself seller. If we could look into their heads, we'd probably hear something like, I don't know what you can do for me, and I don't know you. I'm leery of agents because they might try to sell me a home I don't want. Or I can find my own home. Lots of people don't trust real estate professionals, and they don't really understand what you bring to the table that they can't do for themselves. So it is your job to prove to your leads the value you add. And part of that value is, of course, emotional intelligence and knowing what they want. What are they looking for out of the experience? So just briefly, what value do you provide? Some of the services you offer clients that they may not be able to get on their own. Apart from hearing about listings before homes become available to the public, you can provide comparable sales. You provide sales data from MLS based on searches. Pull property profiles reflecting sales history, property data, demographics, and neighborhood services. Obtain a copy of the home's historical documents. Run reports on list price to sales price ratios. Calculate annual facts and trends about an area. Suggest pricing strategy. Prepare a strong offer that presents the buyer in the best light based on market demands and agent interaction or networking, if you are the buyer's agent. Review of documents for loopholes and obtain disclosures for them. And, of course, provide a buffer between you and any other agents. So that's a very technical, what do you provide? But this is how we nurture. This is how we create people that stay with us. This is the true value that we can offer that our competition doesn't. We can be a trusted advisor, and we can advocate for them during the entire home process. And basically, real estate professionals today are no longer the gatekeepers of property information, but we provide the understanding, the evaluation, and the presentation of property information to home buyers or sellers. And that is the integral part of the job. If done properly, everyone benefits. Your company probably spends a lot of time and money generating qualified leads. But how many of those result in closed deals? The truth is there's a big difference between qualified and ready to buy. So how do we create ready to buy? We nurture. In fact, according to Serious Decisions, 70% of the qualified leads that make it to sales gets disqualified or discarded at some point, 70%. Here's the catch. Up to 80% of those dead-end prospects will ultimately go on to buy from you or from a competitor within 24 months. So lead nurturing is a process we use to build relationships with leads, even when they're not yet ready, in order to win their business when they are ready to move ahead in the process. So your job as a marketer, your job as a professional, is to give these prospects the information they need to make a decision. You need to keep your brand front and center during this period and to be there when they're finally ready to commit. And all of these parts of being a nurturer, to educate, to help them attain as many of their needs as possible, to help them research homes and sort through all these listings. These are all the things that you can do to help create that warm, willing, eager to buy from you, even if it's 24 months in the future. So lead nurturing is at the heart of being a real estate professional and the heart of developing leads into warm, willing clients. It is so much more than an automated campaign of emails, newsletters, and blog entries. Buyers and sellers often work on extended cycles. They may take 18 months or more to make major decisions. Today's prospects also spend far more time doing online research, a situation that often brings them to the attention of a company's sales and marketing team long before they are ready to make a decision. One challenge, of course, is separating these warm leads, those that aren't ready to buy today, from the hot leads that represent immediate opportunity. And that's why we use lead scoring tools that are increasingly popular today. Another challenge is how to engage those warm leads over time, giving them the information they need without annoying or alienating them. You think of lead nurturing as a journey for your buyers, where your organization plays the tour guide. You'll learn more about what buyers like based upon their activity, their behavior, and the conversations. The trust that they share with you in those conversations is of paramount importance. You provide relevant, timely information based on the information that they provide, based on what their preferences are, based on that activity, based on their behaviors. And finally, you will recognize when clients are ready to make a decision and to begin a conversation with your team. So first you have to pinpoint their motivation. Why are they in the sales process? What are they looking for? So here's where you have to make a decision and ask some questions. How many people are involved in the process of buying your service? Is it a husband? Is it a wife? Is it a single mother? How many people are involved? Is it parents helping an adult child? What roles do they play? And how influential are they in the final decision? How many people have brought along their best friend? So you not only have to know your client, but you have to be able to understand the motivation of them bringing this other person in. What business needs drive their decisions? Are they wanting to be close to work? Do they work from home? Are they more interested in the neighborhood or the schools? What questions do they typically have? And what objections are they likely to raise before they make a decision? And what does your buyer or seller's process look like? What does it look like to bring them to the table? And to be the expert, you need to know how long this is going to take. Guaranteed that's going to be a question someone has. How long will it take to get from A to Z? And you need to know, because we're going to talk about this, how do buyers respond to your existing marketing campaigns? How did you get this client? How did they come and find you? And does their behavior suggest certain patterns in how they interact with your marketing content? So how did you bring them in? Once you know how you brought them in, what brought them to you? And those are some of the things that are hard to define. But there are tools we could use to help define that interaction. Next, we have to design the customer experience. You have to choose a set of touch points. How many times do you want to contact a prospect? And you have to choose your content. Do you start with a white paper? Do you move on to a set of case studies? And then do you invite the prospect to a webinar? Do you invite them to a tour, to open houses? Do you have informational data demographics? We have to choose those things based on a profile of our customers. How often do you contact your prospect? Every week? Every 2 weeks? Once a month? And what method works best? Does your entire campaign revolve around email? Or do you contact some prospects by phone, direct mail, or are there some other methods like networking? So a very simple lead nurturing workflow may involve just a series of 4 or 5 email messages or newsletters set over a period of several weeks. A more advanced workflow may include multiple touch points, content offers, and communication channels all over a much longer period of time, and with different variations depending on who your client is. It's a really good idea to start with simple. Keep it simple to begin with, and then allow them to evolve over time. And that's the one thing, is that the customer experience and your experience evolves over time. So one of the tools that we use is automation. So lead nurturing, especially when combined with a marketing automation solution, gives your company the ability to track and measure the effectiveness of your effort. What is your return on investment for the time and money that you spent? There are a few places to look for key performance indicators in a lead nurturing campaign. One, we need to keep track of engagement. How many emails are opened and how many click-through rates are an obvious starting point for tracking. Lead acceleration is another one. How long does it take to move your leads between nurturing campaign stages? And how long does it take to move them into the final cycle, the final process? What is the outcome? How many of your nurtured leads enter the final process, the final pipeline, so you have a closed deal? And what is the average revenue associated with those deals? How long do they take you to close? So companies that excel at lead nurturing generate 50% more sales-ready leads at 33% lower cost per lead. 33% lower cost. That's significant when it's coming out of your own pocket. And once you establish a baseline with these and other key indicators, you can look for trouble spots in your nurturing campaign. You can experiment with different solutions, with different messages, different content and cycles, and plan your next steps. So planning for the future, a basic lead nurturing campaign using a handful of buyer profiles, a limited process flow, and a few performance metrics like the previous page is a great place to start. Like lead scoring, however, lead nurturing is a process that's never finished. There's always room to refine improve, and expand. Besides adding new touchpoints, new content, and new communication channels like LinkedIn, like Facebook, like Twitter, with your existing campaigns. There are other ways to take advantage of lead nurturing. One of those is client loyalty and retention. Lead nurturing tactics help build this deeper relationship with your existing clients. You can cross-sell and upsell opportunities. They are going to come to you when they have a question, even if it is 18 months or 24 months in the future, when they're finally ready to move ahead. And then we have client welcome and onboarding. You can use lead nurturing to introduce customers to a new product or a service. Do you have somebody new that you're working with? Do you have a referral or an affiliate program? You can give them support options. You can give them tips and tricks, what's going on in the market, financial investment advice, community information, and any other resources you can think of. And then we have remarketing, which is so-called waking the dead campaign, which can make the most of missed opportunity. So I know lead nurturing can be intimidating, and it can certainly be complex. However, it can be a very straightforward process when planned out. Make an effective game plan, define what your goals are, and you know what you're going to do every day you get up and how you're going to move forward into the future. So whatever you do, when leads don't work out, and sometimes leads can even get all the way to a closed deal only to fall through at the very last minute. And red hot prospects might make all the right moves and then suddenly drop out of sight for no apparent reason. So whatever you do, don't write those off as dead deals. A client might suffer a setback. They might have a last-minute change in their requirements. They might simply want to spend a little more time thinking about their decision. So a lead nurturing program is an ideal way to reach out to these missed opportunities and to stay on their radar. So I want to thank you all for attending today. And just for your participation, we want to offer a free 4-video series which comes direct from our e-learning system. And we provide you with the proven and tested tools, resources, and support that gives you the ability to outthink, outmarket, and outsell your competition. And we provide these videos because we don't want you to just take our word for it. We want to prove that we can do exactly what we say. So please go to our website at coachingchicksacademy.com. Enter your first name and email in the box to the right, and we'll send you a short 4-video series to teach you exactly how to generate all the leads your business can handle without spending a cent on marketing and advertising. So I want to say thank you, everyone, and we can answer questions. I will unmute everybody, and we could get on. Oh, okay. Hang on just one moment, and I will make you guys all live. All right. having a difficult time. So just give me one moment. I will have everybody where you can speak.
No.
Might want to turn the recording off.
Yes, I'll do that.